duo, the dynamic mother-daughter duo. And tonight we have a lovely guest, Miss Taylor, one of my best friends, and she's going to be joining us for tonight's show. Now, tonight we're going to be discussing online dating. That's right, you heard us. We're going to be talking about Bumble, Tinder, Black People Meet, if you're old head, Christian Mingle, eHarmony,
eHarmony,
Match.
And then I did Coffee Meets Bagel. I feel like we're missing something.
We probably are. There's new dating apps.
Go Meet a Cowboy. What's that one?
Like FarmersOnly.com.
Yeah, FarmersOnly.com is that one. It's another one, y'all. It's like Tinder, but strictly for Black people. Black Love.
There's a Black Tinder?
Yeah.
What? I didn't know about that.
I think it's called
I
that.
did not know about that.
Yes. So we're going to be talking about our experiences on online dating. And basically the question that we want to pose is, would you do online dating? And if so, why? If not, why not? And what is your experience about it? So let us know down in the comment section, what do you think about online dating and what your experience has been? I guess I'll go first to break the ice.
Sure.
Okay. So I've been doing online dating. I've been on Tinder. That's the main one. And then I've done eHarmony. My experience primarily with Tinder, I've been on there on and off for like a little under 2 years or so. My experience with Tinder, y'all, it's been kind of like, it's been okay. It's been funny, to say the least. The first time I got
on Tinder, is that the one where you swipe left, swipe
right? Yes, swipe left, swipe right. Or Tinder, a lot of people call it the hookup app, you know, which I ain't really trying to do all that, you know, trying to get a little bit more than a hookup, but yeah. So, but yeah, on Tinder, my experience has been, I've met some decent young men who are, you know, successful in their own right, educated, whatever, pretty cool. However, it just hasn't been, it hasn't been a connection, you know, it hasn't been a spark. I don't know. It seems like maybe with Tinder, maybe I need to try something else, but most people don't really take it that seriously. One thing I do notice about Tinder is that when you do swipe right, you guys match. And some, you know, men will message you, some men will not. So I guess that's the only thing. I would like maybe, sometimes I message them if I like them. But it's kind of interesting. And so I'm rambling on, but to say with Tinder, I've had 2 Tinder dates where we've actually like talked over the phone and we've actually like met up in person. The first one we met at Atlantic Station at a bar. He was really cool initially, but towards the end of the night, he showed that he was a little off, a little unstable.
Yeah.
So I let that go. I blocked him and let that go. The second Tinder date I had, he was really cool. We had a nice time. And so I don't know. He was cool, but it just, I saw some red flags for him too. So I let that go. So that pretty kind of sums it up. I don't have anything against online dating. In my opinion, I don't know if you ladies agree, but I think just the same way, you know, you can meet a man that's full of BS in person, you can also meet a man that's full of BS online. Either way, you have to take your time and get to know the person, because you can deal with crazy online or offline. So it really doesn't matter if you meet them online or offline. You still have to vet them anyway. One thing I will say, if you are going to do online dating, try to FaceTime that person first before you guys meet up. So that way, one, you're not being catfished, and two, you can make sure that you all can at least start building some type of rapport. So that way, when you guys do meet in person, it's not like super awkward because you all have already FaceTime, you've already talked on the phone. Because sometimes, you know, people can really slide through the cracks when you're just texting. You're not really able to pick up on their social nuances. So that's why I would say, if you do meet somebody off of a dating app and y'all decide y'all want to take it further and talk a little bit more, see if you can FaceTime them. And if you have an iPhone and they have a Droid, see if you can Skype or at least talk on the phone with them so you can see, okay, is this person worth me leaving my house to meet up with them? Is there going to be any conversation? So that's what I would say.
I don't have a problem with online dating. I was on Black People Meet back in 1999.
All right, girl. 3 years ago.
That's how long that dating site has been out. It's been out a long time. So I really don't have, I don't have a problem with it. Like Sammy said, you can go wrong either way by dating online or just meeting someone out in the street. And I heard, I have a friend that actually met her husband off of blackpeoplemeet.com. And I've heard a lot of stories of people getting married off of blackpeoplemeet.com. So I really don't have a problem with it. But I think that it's just like with everything else, it's a weed out process.
Yes.
It's some losers and then it's some good guys. But from what I've been hearing is that you get better results when you pay for the dating app, when you actually pay for it.
Oh.
It's like
an eHarmony or a
yeah.
Match, when you pay the subscription fee, they tend to bring you better matches, more quality people.
You get more quality people when you actually pay for it than when you do the free. So I think, but I don't have a problem with it, I think it's just another way of meeting people, but I think that it is a lot of creepy people on those dating websites.
That's true.
I really do.
But also, to play devil's advocate with online dating apps, a lot of times it exposes you to people you would never run across.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it's like, wow, I would never meet you had I not gone on Tinder or Bumble or Soul Swipe. That's the Black Tinder. That's what it's called, Soul Swipe.
So it's so many of them.
Yeah.
It's so many
there really are.
So many.
Yeah.
But what you said about there being creepy people out there, that was my initial reservation on online dating. I'm like, there's going to be some crazy person that's going to try to murder me. That has always been my thought when I think of online dating.
It's plausible.
But
it is. There's
so,
some validity to what you're saying. Absolutely.
It's so normalized now. Like I guess it's not weird that you haven't done it, but it's just like another thing. Like it's no big deal now. It's normal.
No, it's normal now. Yeah. It really is. It's normal now. Like when I was on there back in 1999, it was like it was like taboo. You really didn't tell anybody that you had went out on this dating website to meet someone. Like with the lady that I know that actually got married. For a long time, she wouldn't actually say, "Well, I met my husband on blackpeoplemeet.com." She wouldn't tell you that. She would say, "Well, we met through a mutual friend." Because it was like, I guess, at our age, it was like, you're ashamed. You seek love. You went for love on a dating app. And it's okay. It's not a big deal now. But I have heard some stories, though.
What are some stories you heard?
And so one of the stories that I recently heard from, what is it? POF?
Plenty of Fish, yes.
Oh, Plenty of Fish. Yeah, Plenty of Fish. This young lady was telling me about that, she had met this guy and, she was attracted to him and he always wanted her to come over to his place. He never wanted to take her out.
You can't take me out. We don't need to talk.
Especially like first meeting. I want to be out in a public place.
He never wanted to spend any money. And she was like, okay, so how are we going to hook up? If you don't ever want to take me out. He was like, well, you can come over to my place. So she said, you know what? I went. He was fine. He was cute. So I just said, forget it. I'm going to go over to his place. So she got over to his place and found out that he lived with his son. And I was like, okay, so how old was his son? She said he was 20. She said, girl, when I got there, his son was having a kickback. So we was sitting in the middle of the kickback.
With a bunch of kids. What?
It was me, him, and his 20-year-old son. I was like, really?
Oh, wow.
Then she told me another story. Now, this is on All Plenty of Fish. She told me of another story where she had went out on a date with this guy they had met at some bar, and he was like, okay, well, you want to go get something to eat. Let's go grab something to eat. You can just follow me. So she went from one location to another one, which was far in between from, one from each other. So she says she's following him, right? And he pulls up in his complex. And she's like, okay, so... what are you doing?
No.
So these are all the things you don't be doing.
No, sir. No, sir.
So she, she rolled her window down. She like, what's up? He was like, you said you wanted some wings. I got some leftover jerk chicken wings that I had from the other day. You can have those. She was like, Peace.
You trying to serve me on that? No.
Yes. Then it was another one where, you know, the guy he had a car, but he said he lived with his cousin, and his cousin would always have the car, and he would always want her to come by and pick him up. So she said that she was just like, you know what? You know, I want to date, I want to be married, I want a husband. She said, but every time I go on these dating apps, I get all of these creepy people. It just comes around to I'm not getting what I want, you know, from these apps.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you all feel?
Oh, now I know never to go on Plenty of Fish.
I would say it's really about your mindset. If you go into something thinking negative, then more than likely it's going to come into fruition. You have to be very careful when you're out here dating. And I've had to check myself. Sometimes when we date, we're like, I don't want no man that's this. I don't want no man like that. And when you harp on what you don't want, a lot of times you tend to attract that very thing you don't want. So I would say change your thought process. Instead of saying, I don't want a man like this, he can't be there, he gotta have to, start focusing on what you do want. You know, start focusing on how you want to feel when you do meet that man. You know what I mean?
Right.
And you gotta get out there and make time too as well. And you can meet a man anywhere, at the grocery store, at the gas station. Another thing is really all about your energy too, and working on that. You know, make sure, you know, fix your face. You know, sometimes I have to check myself because I have a little resting bitch face, and sometimes I'm just not aware of it. I'm just thinking and
resting all the time.
And then sometimes, you know, I use it as a defense mechanism because I don't want to be approached, you know, by some guys. So I would say that's another thing, just to work on your energy, because you want to always make sure you're vibrating at a high level so that you can attract a man that's also vibrating at a high level. And men pick up on
energy is
men
important.
can pick up on your energy. You know, if you're not in the mood, or you feeling low, you feeling down, he can pick up on that. He can sense that. And so it's good to just keep a positive outlook. And again, just start focusing on what you do want. Start manifesting that, and you gotta believe that you can attract the man you desire. If you can't say that you want a person that's like this, and then deep down inside you don't believe you can really obtain it, that'll really mess you up as well. So I would say the first thing is get your thought process right. Second thing, make sure you know exactly what you want. So if you want somebody that's 6'5", chocolate bearded, Christian, and you meet a guy that's 5'5", atheist, clean shaven, then you know that's not your guy. You know, that's not what you want. So just be very clear about what you want. Be confident. Ask the universe, ask God for what you want, and have faith that it can come into fruition.
And you can also write it down as well.
Yeah, put the pen to the paper
write down
too.
what you want.
Yeah.
Does Tinder let you have preferences? Just thinking about like knowing what you want. Do they let you?
Tinder, it'll let you do the age and the distance.
That's it?
I think that's the main thing. Unless you pay, then you can get more specific. Yeah.
Coffee Meets Bagel will let you do more. That's the app I tried, and it's the only app I've tried because I'm very new to online dating. But it'll let you do, I think you can do height, age, distance, and you could do religion, and you can do racial preference if you want.
Oh, good.
Mainly the one
So I got into racial.
I like that I could do like religious preference, and I clicked Christian because that is like the most important thing to me. And it popped up as like, this is really going to cut down on your results. Are you sure you still want to do this?
Yes.
So I do like that. That really
it's a good way to weed them out. So
yeah, like it was really good that put that in there, and it is listed like when you click somebody's profile, it'll have it like it has age, height, job, and religion, and that's just convenient for me because I can say, oh, not spiritual or religious, swipe to the left. It's very helpful.
So you all are actively dating. So how often do you think that you will gear towards the dating apps? 50% of the time, or
you know, I go on and off on dating apps. You know, sometimes I be like, no, I'm good. I could meet somebody in person, and I do meet men in person. I go out, and then sometimes I'm like, oh, well, it's super convenient. Let me just see. But I think for now, I'll probably just stick to going out. Yeah.
What about you, Taylor?
The dating apps are cool.
I just started the app, and I mainly started the app because I live in a small town. And there's not a lot of young people, and it's kind of far.
It's more convenient.
Yeah, it is convenient just to meet people out there. But I do go out, and I go out to do like events that I'm interested in. But I guess the people that are interested in the same thing I'm interested in are really old and married and have families. So that's kind of like toward me towards the app as well. Just